Welcome back to... You're not gonna zoom in? What's up, guys? Oh, that's lame. How do I be normal? What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Health Code Podcast. So before we record any episode, we always make coffee. This tradition has begun since we got the coffee machine. If you've been listening to our episodes, Kurt bought this like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Maybe 6 weeks.
It's been a good 6 weeks. It's just gone so fast. Since social distancing, Kurt bought us this coffee machine and we're actually obsessed with it. Totally not spons. Wish it was spons. If you want to spons me, I'm here. I thought before we sit down and film, let's just do some beautiful, seductory B-roll of the coffee. I don't remember how to do it. I literally watched a whole vlog on like how to pour for a cappuccino, a flat white, all this stuff. And I was supposed to be impressing you right now. So Kurt and I have this idea that we're gonna film a video this week where we like have a coffee off and we have to like make the different coffees and see who does it better. So this is just a little teaser of what's to come. I'm gonna make a flat white right now. Hi? From high? From high? Oh. Yes, darling. And now I start the artwork. Ready for this?
Yeah.
Like this, and you go like, oh, yeah.
You gotta do big clumps. Looks real lovely.
I'm quite embarrassed right now. It is a deconstructed moon.
No, don't do that. Okay.
At least it tastes good.
I love you like la 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 la.
Welcome to The Health Code.
This is our podcast where we chat about all things health, fitness, career, relationships, and lifestyle.
It's kind of like your weekly catch up with the girls. Oh, and the boys.
Yeah, the boys.
Okay, can confirm we are in the office now actually recording the podcast. And if that beginning made absolutely no sense to you, then you have to go over to our YouTube channel because we're recording this. As you guys know, the last two, this is the third episode.
This will be the third one.
The third episode that we filmed for YouTube. So we thought it'd be fun to film a little coffee saga at the start of this one.
Yeah, it's a little bit of fun. And we're also planning on doing some more YouTube videos soon. I want to do a morning routine one. We have some other ideas that we've been talking about. So I want to be more active on YouTube as well. So go across to our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can keep up to date with what's going on there. But anyway, let's actually get into the podcast today. I'm excited for this one. And this is because this is a topic that I could talk about these type of things all day long.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about our 5 key points to becoming successful.
Yes.
Now, before we get into today's topic, should we go through a quick weekly wrap?
Of course. Yeah. Sorry if you can hear rustling. If you can see in the video, if you're like, what the heck is she holding? I'm holding what is it called? A heat pack?
Heat pack.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting my period or...
She's got some cramps going on.
Oh, I know. Anyway, so...
You're a little low on energy today.
I really am.
Yeah.
I'm really tired.
It's okay though.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I'll bring it. I'll bring...
You will?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Getting G'd up.
Do you want to get into your weekly wrap first? Do you want me to?
Yeah, I'm pretty much just ripping on myself in this weekly wrap. So
Love it.
without dabbling on too much and just like boring you, I'm really enjoying social distancing. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's doing a lot of good for most of my friends and family. Like, I read this cool quote the other day. I should have had it. But it's kind of like in all aspects of life, you can like think on the positive side or dwell on the negative. Mm-hmm. And with like social distancing right now, there's just like so many positives. It was this quote saying like the air is clearer, the beaches have never been so clean.
So
parents are home with their parents are home with their children. Home cooked meals are replacing the takeaway options. And just like, I don't know, I feel like everyone is a lot slower paced and less stressed and living in the moment. Yeah. And I also, how weird is this? I feel like my sisters, they never work out, right? Like they never really train and they're both working out nearly every day. My dad is fitter than, my dad's lost 5 kilos.
Yeah.
crazy. Like,
I know.
it's
I
so...
thought it was going to go the opposite way. Like, I thought a lot of people, and maybe it's just because these are the close people around us have just decided to do this, but I thought it'd go the opposite way and people would like gain a lot of weight because they'd be like, oh, gyms aren't open. But I feel like there's a lot of people out and about walking at the moment.
Yeah.
Like here in Australia, you're allowed to go out and walk.
You're allowed to go out to exercise.
Isn't there?
I know. Honestly, everyone I've talked to is in like a better place within themselves, like in their life. Maybe not business wise, but everyone's like going out and walking and they're active, and everyone is just, I think, a bit more positive and like more content, you know?
And I think understanding is a good word as well, because there's a lot of changes that have happened. Like even in the cafe lines, I noticed like people are so friendly to like you're in the line and you got to keep 1.5 meter distance, and they're like, oh, I'm in the line, sorry. And
yeah. And I don't know if it's just because we live in like Sydney, which is a very, very fast paced place, but everyone's slower in a nice way. Like there's not as much like rush, and I don't know, I'm really enjoying it. So last week, I think I said I was in a really good place with my fitness. I'm loving my workout routine. I'm running to the house every day. Again, I never run. I never go outside to like do my exercise, but I'm running to the house. I listen to that song on Blue Crush and I pretend I'm Kate Bosworth. If you know,
I think I know the main song. Yeah.
You're the nation. So I literally, I run. I know. I was like, why am I doing this? I run along the Esplanade, like I run the beach, and I just pretend I'm like a surfy girl, even though I can't. But I just like, I'm so happy. Like, I feel really content. I feel like I finally have a good balance between like being a mum, looking after Fox, working out outside, cooking, working, like doing business stuff. I don't know. I
Bit
feel
of
like
online shopping.
Oh, that's just wait. Yeah. I know. I'm never like that. Oh, yes. Well, I take the good with the bad. But what I was going to say is the negative side of me, I'm a good person to quarantine with because I like cook for you and I love cleaning and like I keep a very well maintained house, you know, like I make it comfortable to live with, but like I'm not fun to hang out with at night at all.
No.
No, so
you're the worst.
Sometimes if I feel stressed or if I feel like, oh, I've been working really hard, and we're not the kind of couple that will always just like watch a movie. We have to agree. We're like, hey, do you feel like we've deserved a Netflix and chill night where we can just like not edit, because we always have stuff to do. Like we could always find
endless
something.
amounts of work.
Yeah.
Like so much stuff to do.
Yeah. So a lot of the time we're like, look, we deserve it. Let's just Netflix and chill. But I have this really, really bad problem where Netflix and chill to me means log on to my Netflix account and just scroll. I never click anything ever.
She's actually the worst at this. This is so frustrating. And if it's not her scrolling, it's me usually. And I'm like, what about this one? No. What about this one?
I hate action.
What about this one?
Too violent. Or I say it's rated MA, and he's like, so I'm like, there's a reason for that. It's probably very violent.
Or I put like a documentary on, like a David Attenborough documentary, and she cries. She cries before it even starts because she knows that an animal's going to get attacked. I'm like, you are such a sensitive soul.
That Tiger King one.
Yeah. So everyone's been ranting and raving about Tiger King. I turned it on, and literally the first series video, whatever it is.
5 minutes. The first
5 minutes. Yes. There's like a snow leopard in the back of someone's van, and Sarah starts crying. She just starts crying. She's so rude to put him in a cage like that. I'm like, okay, I'm going to turn it off.
The worst part was I wasn't even watching it with you. Kurt was like, well, I'm going to watch this even though you don't want to. I'm going to watch it. Yeah. You go and cook. So
she was
cooking makes me happy. I was in a completely different room and I heard them being like, oh, I walked out there and there was a snow leopard in his trunk, and I started crying. It's so cruel. And
like,
I was just...
When she says crying, like actually crying. Like proper so crying.
Honestly, don't judge me until you've been pregnant and had a baby, because it messes with your hormones. I'm so emotional now, and I'll never go back.
That's fair.
I'll never go back. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm like a terrible person to Netflix and chill with. And then on the flip side of that, like I said, we always kind of feel guilty for doing nothing, like just watching Netflix, watching a movie. So this has gone to a whole new level. So I would much prefer to watch YouTube than any movie or go to the movies or like any Netflix. I just love YouTube. I could just like watch YouTube for hours. I do. It's really bad.
Yeah, we both do actually.
So, so we've been going to bed early so we can like watch YouTube and not feel guilty. But I don't know, actually, I don't think I feel guilty about like watching vloggers. I love food so much and I want to be the best cook. I feel like I'm a really good cook.
Yeah.
But I want to be an amazing chef.
Yeah.
So I've been doing like culinary school on YouTube. But
She
now,
literally has it. It's the most boring thing to hear out the side of my ear. I'm there watching all these awesome stuff like mountain biking, surfing,
How to
video work,
froth milk.
photography, how to froth milk. You need to become a barista, guys. Like this day and age, you can't just, go up to your local cafe, get a coffee whenever you like.
Yeah.
You need to restrict and be at home. So
It's tough
learn
life.
the barist, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here you are,
Culinary school.
culinary school.
When to add baking soda. How much is too much? I love it. So I actually kind of want to look up a course and like do a course.
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah, like an online course. Anyway, my weekly wrap, I'm loving life, loving social distancing. Fox is the best. And I just feel like a good sense of balance.
Yeah, that's nice. Sarah is like a true introvert at heart, so I think this is like perfect for you. These
Yeah,
conditions.
people think I'm extroverted because I'm like loud and like bubbly and woo. But I think I'm so loud and bubbly and extroverted because when I go home, I'm like hermit.
Yeah,
I'm like one or the other. I like burn myself out with people.
but then you're like, I hate the apartment. I'm so claustrophobic in here.
Yeah, no, it's an indoor thing.
Yeah,
I'm
I get it,
I'm
I
an
get it.
introverted outdoor girl. No, do you know what? This is what it is. I'm psychologying myself. If
Okay,
I went to like,
yeah.
what do people go to? They go to like I'm going to my therapist.
Oh yeah, therapist.
I'm therapizing myself. The
word.
reason I'm an introvert, which I'm not really, but the reason I'm like love to be by myself or just with you, just my crew,
Oh,
you and
thank
Fox, is because I burn myself out with people. Like
That's
I'm
true.
always the life of the party, or I'm like talking too much and I'm like so energetic. I need to like simmer down.
Yeah. No,
and
that's the
relax.
truth. Whenever we go to an event or anything like that, you're the one that's always running around talking to everybody and starting up conversation.
But people expect that from me
random
now.
Questions. It's true though.
I'm the icebreaker. I like
you are.
make
You're
people
good
feel
at it.
comfortable.
I stand on the sideline and I just listen
Kurt, you come across rude and awkward, and you know you do.
because I don't want to talk to you.
So Kurt's like standing there, like coming across rude. So I have to
No.
overcompensate, being like, "Oh my gosh, like I love your earrings. Where'd you get them?"
Look, I just Sarah could talk to a brick wall. Honestly, you could literally turn around that wall with the leopard print behind it and literally be like, "How's your day been? How many spots are on your wall? What is this?"
Speaking of, so the other day, oh my gosh, segue into Fox in the
Yeah.
morning.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay, yeah, right.
Kurt and I kind of like take turns.
Yeah.
Fox wakes
It's
up
always
at like
a fight every morning.
no, it's not.
I did it yesterday morning. Oh, I did it today. I'm doing it today.
I feel like we've been good. We've just
Yeah.
kind of like done an unspoken alternate
she
morning
still
thing.
punches me every morning to wake
Shut
up.
up. No, I don't. So Fox wakes up around like 6:30,
Yeah.
7:30, that kind of mark. And we kind of just take it in turns who gets up first, and then we bring him into our bed. He used to stay and cuddle, and now he like gets out and plays. So anyway, Kurt woke up before me and I got to like stay in bed for a little bit. And I just realized it was like really quiet. So I could like hear them in the kitchen. I could hear Kurt banging and clanging around. He puts the wiggles on. And I hear him sometimes say like, "No, Fox, don't touch that." "Oh, are you okay?" "Yeah." Just random things. I was like, do you speak to him? So anyway, I got up and I was like to Kurt, "It was really quiet this morning. Like, you didn't talk." And he was like, "Yeah, what do you mean?" I was like, "Well, like when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, what would you like for breakfast? Oh, yes, the banana is yellow. Can you say yellow? Good try. Should we crawl? Let's crawl like bears." And I sing and I narrate everything.
You're a very amazing animated person, and look,
That's how they learn.
I
So you're,
haven't
like,
had my
mute.
morning coffee yet. I don't want to talk to you, kid.
No, you're like mute. And so he's just staring at you and you're like,
No, he's watching TV. He's playing with his toys. He's all right. But as soon as he touches my plant, no, Fox, don't do that.
yeah, but you need to... And then I will say, "Fox, we don't touch that, but you can come over here and play with your toys. Don't touch the plant." I explain things. So then
Okay.
anyway, Kurt was like, "No, it's not because I'm a bad parent. It's just because you could talk to a brick wall."
This is true.
It's
this
not
is true.
why.
Yes.
No.
He doesn't talk back to me, so what's the point of talking to him in the first place?
You can't punish him that he can't speak. But that's not why. That's not why I talk to him.
Yeah.
I talk to him because I want to stimulate him and I want him to be smart.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a terrible parent, but like when I've woken up in the morning, I'm tired. You even know this. I don't even talk to you in the morning
really
half the time.
grumpy.
I'm not grumpy. I'm just no. I'm not grumpy.
You're
I'm
not nice to wake up to.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm just tired, and I
I'll
need
go,
my morning
"Good
coffee.
morning," and
I
you're
like
like,
my routine. I've like done the washing up. I've like got Fox up. I do all those things that a parent does. Get his cookies, banana pancakes. He loves them.
Yeah, but you could narrate it.
Best banana
You
pancake
could narrate
maker,
it.
by the way.
I'm not going to get into that with you because I taught you how to make them.
Yeah, but you know.
You can't beat me at my own game.
Yes,
I'm the master.
I have.
No.
I stood up, beat you. Rose to the challenge, and I've leveled up you. Kind of like me making coffee.
I'm not even going to respond to that.
Anyway, let's get back on to Sarah.
My favorite topic.
Sarah, since isolation, has been enjoying a little bit of online shopping.
Yeah, really unlike me, actually.
Yeah, I know it is. It's really weird. Maybe just because you got a little bit more time on your hands. You don't really, but anyway.
No, I do have my reasons, but I'll let you go. I do have my reasons,
So-
and they're valid.
When I go and purchase things, I purchase a lot of the stuff that I'll buy will be like camera gear and things for my business, right? Like camera equipment and stuff like that. You know, fun things that excite me. Sarah buys rugs.
That's the most exciting
Not
purchase.
to mention how much money she spent on the rugs.
Wait, I think the worst part is it's the plural. I didn't buy a rug.
No.
I bought 3 woolen rugs.
We don't even have space in our apartment right now. Like, I get it. We're moving into a house soon, but we haven't even like put the floorboards down yet. Like, how do you know these rugs are going to even work in our new house?
Because I trust my instincts. I know my style. I know our style. And you know what? Do you know the reason why I bought 3 rugs?
Why?
It's because,
We're going to have carpet upstairs, by the way.
yeah, you put rugs on carpet. Anyway.
Well, no,
it's
you
about-
no.
Look.
You see, I don't like this.
You said you did.
I don't like this rug. I like all the rest of them.
What?
I told you not to get this one. I wanted the other one.
But this isn't for here. This is Fox's room. It's fun. It's a fun rug. It's
Yo.
colourful. It's natural wool. He can play on it.
I like
and
the fluffiness. I like the tassels. I don't like the coloured pattern in it.
It's stimulating. I like it. And do you know why I bought 3?
Can you explain how much this rug that I don't like costs, though?
No.
2.
No.
No?
This one was like $800.
This one was $800, was it?
Mm-hmm.
$800.
Bargane.
No.
Bargane. A bargain.
The others were like,
No.
don't tell?
No, don't do it.
2,500 each?
No. That's not true.
Well, how much were they?
I don't remember. They weren't cheap.
I just remember you
No,
coming
they're
and being
forever.
like,
One's
I
vintage.
just spent
One's-
$6,000 on rugs.
No.
And I spat my coffee out. Literally everywhere.
One's vintage. Do you know why? Can I explain myself?
That's such a boring thing to spend so much money on.
Okay, number 1,
Okay.
I hardly spend any money. My
Truth.
accountants even say, wow, you're a really good saver.
Yeah.
I hardly buy anything, okay?
Yeah. It's true.
And I'm trying to create our dream home. And I'm also trying to take some stress off my future self. When we move in, I'm going to be like, whoa, so overwhelming. I have to buy so much stuff for the house. So I'm trying to have that mentality where it's like when you see something that you actually love and you can't stop thinking about, I just buy it. Because I hate living in regret thinking like, wow, I remember that rug I saw last month and now it's sold out. I don't want to be that person. So now I'm like, love you. That's going in my basket. So I'm the rug queen.
Sarah's not very chill when it comes to like decking out the house. Like she needs it done yesterday and she needs to like let's go out shopping. Let's just look for everything. All right, I've made my mind up. I want to get this,
I'm working on it.
and just get it done.
It's a bad quality that I stress about stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Like I stress about like, I need to find the right rug.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
You
I
make
know.
it stressful on
I have
yourself.
issues, I know.
I have one more thing that I want to talk about you, and then we'll go on today's topic. I'm sorry if you guys are getting bored, but I've been doing this secret project lately because I got a little bit more time on my hands, and I've been filming it at night. I'm really excited.
You don't have more time on your hands, can I just say?
I don't. I'm still
No,
busy.
you're just smart
everything.
with time. You've been filming this at like midnight.
Just when I have opportunity to film this, like at
I
night
think
time,
it's-
when we've been sitting around doing Netflix, I've been doing this, and I've been putting a lot of work and energy into it. And I will explain to you guys at a later date once it's kind of close to the finished product. But I'm really excited for this project. Anyway, last night, filming this secret project, I get a phone call from Sarah.
No.
Yes. So much yes. In a panic, like freaking out. And I'm like, if Sarah's freaking out, I kind of get panicked too. I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong?
I'm
Like,
so
what's happened?
chill
Oh, yeah,
in
anyway.
life. So if I freak out, it's worth it.
Yes, okay, it's worth it.
This was worth it. Like, if you
So-
know me, you know.
She's in a panic. And she's like, oh my gosh, like, you have to come get me. You have to come get me straight away. I'm like, what's wrong? Like, what's happened? Like, is something wrong with your car? Like, no, there was a cockroach in my car. I can't drive it. Fox is in there. He's screaming. I don't know what to do. What do I do? So I'm like, are
was
you serious?
massive.
Just drive the car home.
Oh.
It's a freaking cockroach, mate. Just relax. Like, it's not like a spider that's going to bite you.
No,
The
I'd
worst
rather-
thing
I'd
is
rather
a
a
cockroach will crawl on your leg, and that's about it.
I can't even. Okay. If you know, you know. My biggest fear in life is cockroaches. I would rather eat a tarantula. I'd rather have a huntsman as a pet
I don't
than
get it.
have a cockroach in the house that I can't. No. Oh, so yeah, my car's abandoned somewhere. Kurt had to come and get me at midnight.
So it takes us like an hour to set up the set that I'm like doing this thing in. And I had to pack all that down, put it in my car, bring it all home so that Sarah and Fox could fit in the car, unpack it at home, drive about 20 minutes away to pick Sarah and Fox up out of a car that has a cockroach in it. Are you kidding?
No, that's. No, I'm not kidding.
If that's not my commitment to you, I don't know what is.
No, because you know. Hold my hand.
We're holding hands
Come
right
here.
now.
The other one,
And I'm rolling my eyes to
No,
the
look at me.
ceiling.
Look at me.
No, I'm not
No,
going to
look
look at
at
you.
me.
I'm not going to look at you.
baby.
I'm looking down at the floor.
And our beautiful rug that you love so much.
Anyway, should we get in today's topic?
Cockroaches suck. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay, so our 5 tips to success. I think we just say these nice, quick, fast with a little bit of a debrief.
Yeah.
But in saying that, we tried to make these tips very personal to us and
Yep.
not ones that you're just going to like find on Google.
Yeah.
You know, like tips to success. It's like be motivated and like
Well,
whatever.
I guess these are things that we've actually implemented
Yes.
to create success
Yes.
or what I guess we would envision as a successful lifestyle. I think before we get into our points, let's talk about, I guess, our...
What do we perceive as success?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think for me, success isn't about money. I think that's like the number one tip. And
That's such
the
a
reason-
misconception, right?
Right, right. And I'm going to explain this story. So I used to be in a lot of debt. I was working career. Obviously, you guys heard this story before, but I was working career I didn't enjoy. And I would always think at this time, if I had, X amount of dollars, then I'll feel successful. If I had a house, I will then feel successful. If I have a house and X amount of dollars and a family and have the opportunity to be able to travel whenever I like and do their dream job, then I'll feel successful. And the reality of this is it's not about the money. The money's never, when
What made
Sarah,
you change though?
You.
Oh.
So when Sarah first launched her first product, her ebook, we put so much energy into it. Sarah put a huge amount of work into it. And in our mind, there was never really a money value attached to that. It was always just, we want to create this thing because we want to do something cool and awesome. And we want something that people are going to love and enjoy.
Yeah.
The day of the launch, the sales of the thing went through the roof, and we were sitting at home, and I remember looking at the bank account and thinking, oh my gosh, we have this lump sum of money in my account and I feel nothing.
I think, do you know why? I think because I've never been about money. Like,
Yeah.
my family's not. And I think, you know how you said you used to be like that? I just never was like that ever.
Yeah.
I was always like, my idea of success has always kind of been the same. Like, I've said from day one, I said it in my YouTube channel, I just want to be a mum and I want to be in like a loyal, supportive relationship. And that's what I've always wanted. It's never been about money. My whole family's the same. I feel really lucky. So even with like, let's just use the ebook, for example.
Yeah.
I just had so many questions about like, how do I train? How did I transform my body? And I was like, you know what, this will be really cool if I can give back to people and show them how I can train. And I'm not trying to plug my ebook. I'm just trying to make it make sense to you guys. And I even thought for myself, how cool that I can like write a program that I can always refer back to. Like even now, a few years on, I'm still doing that same 8-week challenge.
Yeah.
So to me, the goal, the motive, the objective behind it was to just create this ebook that was so difficult for me. I was like, how do you even create an ebook? Like who do you bring on to help you do this? So to me, the pinnacle of success of that whole experience wasn't even the event, wasn't the sales. It was when I got the final PDF. I was like, oh, I did it.
Yeah.
Like that's what I wanted. And then, so when when everyone loved it and when everyone purchased it, I was like, wow, like it was just justifying that it was a good ebook, but it didn't. I didn't feel successful because we had money. I was just like, I feel successful because I have a PDF.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
and,
like
but it's so funny, right? Like I think to have financial security is a good thing, and it does relieve a little bit of stress, but you create stress in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And I think
sometimes more money, more problems, you know?
this is true. This is very true. But I think as well, like, I think just that point of literally there was the lump sum of money in the bank account and I felt nothing. I didn't feel happiness because, you know, it was just sort of, it was like, okay, well, what's the next thing now? What's the next goal? What's the next thing we're going to do?
And so what you're
know what I
saying,
mean?
that was a point to you that you're like, maybe I'm not driven by money.
Yeah.
Because I always knew that, but I feel like for you,
No.
that was a point that you changed after that. Like you,
I
in a good way.
was so excited to see how it would sell because I genuinely have an interest in that area, and I was so excited to see all that. And then when I saw it, I was just like, oh, I don't feel any better. I don't feel any different.
Yeah.
I don't feel successful. I
I
feel
also
the same.
think because I'm very, okay, like aside from that rug story, that's very unlike me.
Yeah.
But I'm like very easily pleased and I'm very humble in the way
true.
that I live. Like I don't
true.
like buy crazy brand stuff. Like I just literally
If I made
buy
you
coffee.
a healthy paleo Anzac cookie, you'd froth
I'd be
out.
stoked. I'd be stoked. So like, yeah. But
Yeah.
I guess my idea of success is like very old school. Like
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I just want to feel content. I feel successful in myself when I'm not stressed.
Mm.
And like I have such internal stress. I put it on myself. I put so much pressure on myself. And I feel successful when I'm happy. And when I'm happy, it's when I feel like I have a good balance of like being a mum, being a friend, being a fiance, being a daughter, being a sister. And I have a good balance of like, wow, I worked out this morning, I edited a vlog, and now I have the afternoon to have Fox. It's nothing monetary. Being financially secure helps me relax.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
Because I'm like, okay, I can pay that bill. I can buy Fox a
Yep.
new onesie.
Like living week to week is tough. I
Living
get
week
that,
to week is so
100%.
tough. Yeah. And being on a really strict budget, like when I was at my parents' house, I was on a strict budget.
Yeah.
It is stressful. But to me, yeah, success is just more like feeling like I can breathe and content. And I don't always feel like that because, like I said, I put way too much pressure on myself. But
Yeah.
I feel like if you're listening to this podcast, a lot of the answers that you want is more like business, success, and money. So we are going to tailor these tips to that. How I
100%.
I sold a lot of ebooks and how we bought a house at 27 years old, like things like that. But just a kind of disclaimer, our perception of success is more like balance, family life, but we're just going to tailor this podcast to you and what we think that you'll want to hear.
100%.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was a good little nugget to start on because, you know, I think older Kurt hearing that information to me would be like, really? You really think that? Like, I would have thought money was everything. Younger Kurt. Yeah. So anyway, let's move into today's tips.
Do you want to go one for one?
Let's go one for one. I'm just going to pull mine up on my phone right now.
All right, I'll go first then.
You go first.
So my top tip is authenticity. So I'll keep this one really short and sweet, but one of the most frequent questions I get is, how do you start a YouTube channel? How did you get nearly 1.5 million subscribers? Like, how did you do it? And I'm like, it's a very anticlimactic answer, but it was just like doing it for the right reasons. And, you know, one of my cousins said, I want to start a YouTube channel. Like, how do I get subscribers? I'm like, that's the wrong mentality already. Like, don't ask that question. You need to just say like, hey, how do I edit a video? Because the whole reason I started my YouTube channel was because I had hormonal acne. the whole reason I started my YouTube channel was because I had hormonal acne. I was trying to balance my hormones. I was just trying to live a healthier and more holistic lifestyle. And I was just getting so many questions on Instagram that I was like, you know what? I can't be bothered to reply to everyone. I'm going to just make a video. And I was just authentic in all of my videos. I kind of knew what I was saying. I knew who I was speaking to. I had a goal. I had a why. And I think especially I'm just going to use YouTube for an example.
Yeah.
If you start a YouTube channel because you think it's going to be successful and that's what people want to see, if it does kick off, you have to maintain that personality, that vibe, that content for however long, let's just say 10 years.
Yeah.
If that's not the real you and what you're really passionate about, it's going to fail and you're going to
100%.
get over it. So like,
And I think we've seen that too. Like,
yeah, we've seen heaps of people, heaps of YouTubers come up and then they never get seen again because not only do they burn out, but that's not the real them. But like, I started my YouTube channel in like 2013, 2012.
And when do you think was the turning point? Like, how many years were you working on that before you would have said, you know what, my YouTube channel's actually quite successful?
When I decided to leave uni, which was like
5 years into it?
2017. Yeah, 5 years into it.
So there's 5 years
of just a hobby. 5 years it was just a hobby.
And I feel like that for YouTube specifically, or for any business that you're going to do, or anything, even your fitness program, if you want to gain 10 kilos, don't think about getting some steroids, jabbing yourself, and getting the short win.
It's about the slow
Think
game.
about the next 5 years of building up your strength, because that muscle or that business is going to be so much more powerful than the quick win.
Yeah, so
You know
I
what
guess
mean?
adapting this authenticity tip to any business, not just YouTube.
Yeah.
Start something you're passionate about, whether that is like making jewelry or, making platters of food or making baby products, something that you love, you go to bed thinking about. That's the right thing for you. Be
100%.
authentic.
Well, that is my tip as well, is passion, and that's what motivates me. I think that if you see what we do and you want to do that and live that lifestyle, I think you really need to do it for the right reasons, and do it because you want to be able to do it for the next 5 years and make no money from it. My photography, I started from very humble beginnings, and I started photography literally doing shoots for free. Like, I would do full day weddings for free because I just wanted to get my foot in the door in the wedding industry. And then I built up a clientele and I realized that wasn't for me. And then I started doing free commercial shoots because that's what I wanted to try and do. And that's how I built my way up. I didn't just get lucky, bought a camera.
You just love doing it. You were like, I'll come and help you for free. Yeah,
exactly. I loved it. I was the guy with the camera, and like, it obviously shows now in the work that I create. There's love, there's passion thrown into it, there's enthusiasm. When a client comes to me with a job that I'm excited about and a topic that I want to create, I'll come to life. Like, I'm going to do the best I possibly can for that client. So I think don't focus on the money. Focus on the passion, do it for the love of it.
And then the money comes as a byproduct.
Of course.
My second tip is sometimes a hard pill to swallow depending on your circumstance. And it is, you are so much more influenced by your group or the 3 people closest to you than you realize. And for some people, that's like, damn it. Like, you might internally know that. And other people are like, yep, I have the best cheerleaders. And some people don't agree with this, but I wholeheartedly stand by this. You are a byproduct and you're so influenced by the 3 closest people to you. And I just believe this from personal experience. Like, I can go back before I met you, the 3 closest people to me, I wasn't the best version of myself because I was influenced by them. And I'm glad that happened because I can look back and be like, oh, I'm like so much more myself now and I'm so much more productive because the 3 closest people to me now are my biggest cheerleaders. I would say at the moment it's like you, my best friend Tanika, and like my sisters, like my family. They're probably the 3 closest people to me. And I have such a good balance of someone who pushes me in business. Like, Tanika's like, you can do it, we should do this is a really good idea. I have you who's like, you take care of like my heart and my emotions, and my family, they ground me, they like keep me humble. So I have a good balance. But everyone might have that crazy friend who's like, oh, don't do this, just come for a surf and if you have 3 of those people in your life and they're the 3 closest people to you, it's more than likely that you're not going to be successful in terms of business.
Yeah.
I'm just being brutal. Let's say you have your 3 surfy mates. They might be good for your soul, but if your definition of success is starting a clothing business and those 3 closest people to you, you live with them, they're your roommates, and every single day they're like, brah, come for a surf, don't even worry about it. You won't be successful because
Well,
you have to sacrifice.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, like you're fortunate your family is supportive, Tanika's supportive, I'm supportive of it. But in a lot of cases, the people who are closest to you just don't understand what you're trying to achieve. They don't understand that you have goals to do better for yourself. You want to become a better person, or you want to become a better business person. You know what I mean? They're going to be the first to put you down in some cases, and that's difficult. But you need to shut that off and focus on your own goals and drive towards that.
So I guess there's like 2 ways to go about it. It's like you either do a toxicity clean out and you get rid of those people from your life, or that's very intense, or you say, okay, look, the 3 closest people to me aren't the best influences, so I just have to employ more severe and more intense personal and self-motivation. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying get rid of all your bad friends who say, come and party. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But just be aware that you are heavily influenced by the people around you.
100%.
And you just need to either be like more determined, more motivated, and be more have more self-discipline.
Yeah. Well, take this, for example. My dad is a very analytical guy. He went to university. He's an accountant. When I told him that I wanted to pursue photography as a career, and I value his opinion like no one else's. You know, he's my father. When I told him that I wanted to pursue that, good on you, Jay.
Papa J.
When I wanted to pursue that as a career, he was quite skeptical. He was supportive, but he was like, do you really think that, you know, that there's a career in that? It's a pretty limited, you know, job supply out there. Like, do you really think that you can do that? But he just didn't see what I saw, you know? I saw social media as this amazing outlet that's growing, and that, you know, the content now is just key for every business. If you're not producing X amount of content, you're basically non-existent online. And I could envision that, and I could see that. Whereas, you know, my father wasn't involved with that at the time, so he didn't understand it. And of course, his opinion mattered to me so much back then, and it was like always in the back of my mind. But at the same time, I could see something that he couldn't.
That's a good segue to my tip number 3.
Okay.
And how to be successful. It's knowing who to listen to and when. So I think it's amazing if you can find a mentor. And what
100%.
I used to think was a mentor is a person who you want to be. And that's so not the case, right? Like,
no.
Someone would ask me, who's your mentor? I'm like, I don't have one, because there's no YouTuber I really look up to, or there's no like health and fitness person I look up to.
And it doesn't have to be one single person.
Well,
too.
that's my thing. I have different mentors.
Yeah.
Like my accountant is one of my mentors, just in the way that like he's just so forward thinking and so humble, and I look up to him in different ways. Or like,
He tells you to stop being a tight ass.
yeah, like
That's why she bought the rugs.
yeah, like I look up to my mum in different ways. There's just like different mentors, but I do have. It's so funny how it happens so organically and naturally, but I have this little handful of people that I call for different reasons. So whether it's like, okay, for my cooking project, I needed to hire some employees, which is so weird. So I called a few people in my little hand, what do I call? I have a handful,
palm of your hand.
my handful of mentors, and I said, "What's your opinion? How do you do this?" And I take all of their advice, you know, on,
Yep.
and then I decide, okay, should I listen to this person's advice or do I listen to my own advice? So I think it's asking the right people. So if, let's just say you do want to start a clothing business, don't just ask your friends who buy clothes, because that's great for your audience and for your target market. And you know,
100%.
what pictures do you want to see on shirts, and what colors do you like in shirts? But don't ask them about the business side.
'Cause they're
Don't
not gonna
ask them
know.
about customer service and like how many shirts should I drop every week and how many collections should I make. Don't ask them. Like, they're going to give you probably the wrong opinion. You need to ask the right questions to the right people, and it will totally transform your business, right?
100%.
Like, I used to think I knew it all. I was like, I know all the answers. I know my audience. I know my videos. I know what they like. Then when I had this handful of mentors and I asked them the questions, I was like, I feel like my business and everything I did just skyrocketed because I was taking different people's opinions on board.
Yeah.
So yeah, pick a little handful of people that you value their opinion and ask them the right questions, and then just know in your heart when to listen to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to move on to my point number 2. I fell a bit behind there. But I have this quote from Eric Thomas. Real lions like to hunt. They love the process just as much as they love the prize. Some of us just want to score. You don't like the process. You're not in love with the process. A real man in the dark when nobody's watching, he's putting in the work. Be phenomenal or be forgotten. Now, I think that quote alone just sums up my next point as a whole. It's like you need to be in love with the process. And it goes back to what we were talking about before about YouTube, for example. If you're not willing for the next 5 years to make nothing from it, or the next 2 years, you may get lucky. But if you're not willing for the next 5 years to not see results,
To grind
Yeah.
for no financial reward.
exactly. If you're not willing for that, then it's probably not worth doing for you because your heart's not in it. You're not in love with the process of growth rather than you're just in it for the prize, basically.
Yeah, I think you can be smart and like think about that big prize to make sure you're not doing it for no reason.
Oh, of course.
If it's
There's got to be a
business-
goal, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. If it's like a monetary business, fine. But just, be mentally prepared that you're going to have to grind potentially for a few years before that goal comes to fruition.
And look, if you do, and let's say there's 5 years leading up to that moment's going to be big. It's got to be, right? Mm-hmm. You will get your opportunity. So that's my point.
Love it.
Yeah.
Another one of mine, my 4th point, is not burning out because I've been there. Let me just say, I've been there. And I can keep this one really short and sweet because, again, in business, you need to be consistent. And let's just use mine, for example. I need to be uploading every day and maintaining content and just like keeping you guys in the bubble, keeping you engaged. Engagement is that word. And if I burn myself out, I get into this hole where I'm like, I feel like I'm always filming and I feel like I always have my phone on me. I don't want to do it anymore. I've been to this point. And then I stop uploading. I stop taking photos. I stop vlogging. You lose your engagement. You lose your loyal followers, things like that. So that's very tailored to me, but don't burn yourself out. So you've got to have a balance. There's such a balance between grinding and I'm pushing and I'm motivated and it taking over your life. You need to have a sense of balance. So for me, there's just certain things I've put in place so I feel balanced. So in the morning, usually, I have to get up, I leave the apartment, I get my coffee, I get my workout in, I come home, I play with Fox, and then I start my work day. So even then, before I even open my emails or start editing, I feel balanced. I'm like, I have a life as well. If I wake up, like what I used to do was I would wake up at 5 a.m. and start editing, and I would edit until like 2 in the morning. I had no balance. I had no life. I was so burnt out. So I think it's important to take care of your mental health, have a balance between family, life, fun, leisure, and work.
Yeah.
So whatever that means to you, just you're not a failure. You're not weak if you go to the beach for a day instead of working on your business. It's not weak. Like you're a person. You need to have balance. And
This kind of point sort of moves into my next point as well, is find your inspiration. And I guess for me, my inspiration is going to travel and finding things that, reignite that spark again to keep you going and keep you accountable. So we're kind of crossing over paths here, but I think that's a good point.
How to keep you going, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And it could be as simple as, like Sarah said, like going for a walk in the morning, getting your coffee, getting some fresh air. That might excite you and it might inspire you to then get home and hustle hard. Like I think for me personally, I'm kind of a little opposite to you. I'd like to I wish I could wake up at 5:30 and then go straight to the computer, do some work for an hour and a half. By 7 o'clock, we could have coffee together, go for a walk. I kind of think in my mind, that's like my optimal way to be able to work and get something done without feeling guilty for that. But each their own.
Yeah, it's so funny that like certain people work really hard to travel,
Yeah.
but you travel to work really hard. Like
Yeah.
Kurt will go on an adventure, like go traveling somewhere and come home and be like, I'm so inspired. I want to work. I want to do this. So yeah, we kind of go and travel to come home
Yeah.
and feel refreshed and like, all right, we're going to adopt those skills or those things that we learned on that adventure and put it into our business.
Definitely. And then I'm very fortunate that my job sort of crosses over with travel a lot. So sometimes my career takes me to places and then I come back and I'm like, I've already worked. I'm not burnt out. I'm just more excited and more inflamed to like, do more stuff with my business. Like, yeah.
So I guess for everyone, it's like learn what your refreshers are and learn what your sparks are. So
100%.
yours is travel. Mine is time off. Like I need a day.
Yeah.
I need a day to just like be by myself.
Be
I'm
mum,
like,
lay at the
be mum.
beach, have
Yeah.
your coffee,
Yeah.
do your thing.
Mum guilt is real, let me tell you. But my final one is something I talk about all of the time and something potentially that we're working on right now, a product. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
I really hope it happens, but it
Of course,
is.
it's going to happen.
Well,
it's happening. It is happening.
I really hope. But you guys know, I just said at the start of this, I'm all about planning and structure and routine. I love it. For me, I'm that kind of person where, sure, I'm a creative and I love to go with the flow and I like to be spontaneous sometimes. But in terms of content and things like that, I really love structure. I love a routine. So I love waking up in the morning and doing my thing. And I just love knowing what's ahead of me.
Yep.
And for me, I'm really old school in the fact that I love pen and paper and I love life planners. I love journals. I love to-do lists.
Yeah.
I love ticking things off.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm trying to say in terms of like a tip, it's knowing what keeps you on track and knowing what skills and what little hacks to implement to keep you on track. So for me, it's physically writing down a list, having a little box next to it that I tick, and the night before, thinking in my head and writing down what my goal is and what my routine is.
Yeah.
And that is not for everyone. If that is a waste of time for you, don't adopt this tip at all. But I'm a person who I love writing lists and a goal and setting a schedule.
You definitely do. To the point where we have this humongous, obnoxiously big
It's in the kitchen.
calendar that she writes notes on. And she gets angry at me when I don't write notes on it.
Well, I'm like, what's our plan for tomorrow? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, write it down. Write it down and we'll talk about it.
Sarah's not a very like tech savvy. For someone who's like online all the time, she's not very tech savvy.
I don't like Google.
She doesn't like the Google calendar notes. I love it. Froth on that stuff. That to me is like perfect because then I don't have to double do everything.
I like
you know what
crayons. I like highlighters. I like stickers. Now, write down what we want for dinner. Put a sticker next to it.
Yeah.
Is it vegan? Put a broccoli sticker.
You should have been a primary school teacher.
No.
I have 2 more points left, so I'm just going to briefly go through them quickly. Goes in line with that last point that Sarah said, create deadlines. I'm a person who needs a deadline. I like to push to that deadline a little bit, a little too close for comfort at
I make your
sometimes.
deadlines.
No, I make myself deadlines as well.
Yeah, but I make grumpy deadlines. I'm
Yeah,
like,
she
you said
does.
you were going to do this yesterday.
She
You have
does.
to have it done by 3 p.m. today.
I have to have deadlines, otherwise, it'll just carry on for too long.
but
So
it's
with
good
this-
you know that and you can admit that.
Well, yeah, with this secret project I'm working on, I've currently got deadlines for it.
Good
and
boy.
I'm ready for action. Anyway, on to my final point, and we've already spoken about it today, and it's get your stinking eyes off the money. Get it off the money. Don't worry about it. Back to passion, back to everything. This is just bringing that circle all the way around and combining it back
Yeah.
together.
And that's easier said than done. But like we
100%.
said before, you can have that major goal of like, I want to be financially stable and comfortable from this business, but don't make that the be all and end all. Don't make your decisions based on money. So for instance, let's say the clothing company, there's 2 shirts. One is 5 cents to produce and one is $50 to produce. If your objective, if your mission statement of your business is to bring the customer the best quality t-shirt, you have to go with the $50 one. That's your objective. So it's like making the right decisions to reach that goal, that end goal of your business statement of your, the business that you're running, but also keeping in mind if you do want this to be your career. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Like if I was a tight ass in all of my business, I wouldn't be as successful as I am now and I wouldn't have more money, even though I might have saved money doing little jobs here and there and not paying for certain things or not buying the most expensive equipment. I think spending that money and sacrificing that time has made me more successful.
Yeah.
Does that make
I get
sense?
that. And if you're one of those like spiteful people that are like, oh, you're so lucky you got to do this when you were so much younger, or you did this, or you made this opportunity, blah, 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 for yourself. Like, you're never going to be successful if you're spiteful. Like, shut up. If you're sitting there at home right now and you're saying,
Easy for them to say.
Easy for you to say you've got money. Like, it's easy for you to say that it's not all about that. I've had no money.
Yeah.
I've had to borrow money to pay for rent.
Should we, when you met me,
I was in a really terrible place, and I managed to flip it around. It took
a lot of
it's
debt.
taken a long time to flip it around, but I've done it. And I'm telling you now, if you're
And-
sitting there saying that stuff, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
Can I
do some
also
work.
say that when we first met and when I sold the ebook and we got that lump sum,
Yeah.
I said, I'll pay off your debt, and you said no.
No, I'm too proud for that.
Yeah. So I
too
think
proud for
that shows that you're a hard worker as well. I said, this is stupid. Like, you're paying interest and you have this debt with the bank. Like, I'll pay for it. And then
But the fact of the matter was, it's not your problem. It wasn't your problem at the time to create the solution for me. Like, yeah, I would have had to pay you back without the interest in that. But no, I need to learn from my mistake. I'm a person who learns from creating mistakes, and that's how I grow.
yeah. So I guess I'm just saying that in the fact that, like, we didn't get what's the saying when you get fed with
Spoon-fed.
spoon-fed with a silver spoon or something.
Buddy
like,
Fox does.
we both came from kind of nothing or negative nothing.
Yeah, 100%.
And like we both, I had my uni debts and everything. It was like,
don't get us wrong. We had good upbringings, but from my experience in life, I made some bad calls and put myself into debt and jumped out of jobs a little prematurely before actually having additional work for me to support myself. And I made those bad calls and bad moves, and I paid for that. And I've come out of that a stronger and I guess more knowledgeable person because I've had that growth and that long-term growth as well.
you make smarter decisions now.
Yeah, it's a lot more calculated.
Amen.
Anyway.
I hope you guys took something out of this podcast and you can adapt it to your own life. And that's the thing. I don't just want to talk about ourselves, but when it's personal tips like this, you kind of have to apply it to your own life a little bit.
100%.
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Remember, if you do want to see more personal like vlogs or fun videos, then make sure you go to our YouTube channel, The Health Code Podcast,
Yep.
and you comment on this video. Let us know what kind of videos you want to see, and just if you're keen to see videos other than
The podcast
us,
episodes.
Yeah, sitting here doing the podcast.
I'm excited to do them. We have some big plans, like I said, and we want to do some things that are fun, and we just get to be ourselves, and
a bit more
just
silly.
throw some personality into it, and have fun with it. So super excited for those. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can keep up to date with what's going on. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast, because otherwise how else are you going to know when we upload? Mm-hmm. And if you don't want to do that, then you can always follow our Instagram page as well, the .healthcode. I'm KJ Tills on Instagram and YouTube.
I'm Sarah's Day, Sarah's_day on Instagram, Sarah's Day on YouTube, and website if you want to go on that. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you in the next video.
See you guys.
I love you like la la